Welcome to 142 for the summer of 26. My name is Chuck Devangi. I'm your instructor for this course. I've been adjunct here at Wacom for over 30 years. I also teach full-time in the Bellingham School District, teach math. It's all math. My whole life is math, which is not a bad way to go. I want you to know just right off the bat, before we jump into getting into kind of the nitty-gritty and WAMAP here, my job is to help you be successful in this course. So send me questions that you have. If you find that you're falling behind, contact me, and I will work with you to get things done. I do have some pretty firm boundaries around getting assessments done on time, that sort of thing, but we'll talk about that. So here's what it's probably going to look like when you log in. You'll see announcements. You've probably already seen a bit of this. We are in the week 1 schedule. Right now we're doing this, we're watching the intro video right now and that sort of thing. And this is the way the course is going to be laid out. I have the weeks here. I have the whole course laid out. This is what you can see. If I look at like my vision of it, you can see the whole course is all laid out. Exams will pop in here when they're ready to be shown, that sort of thing. And we have every week laid out. And I show the weeks. You'll have at least 3 weeks ahead. You can always work ahead. It's not a bad thing to be able to do that sort of thing. If you just dig into a week, I'll open up week 2, a typical week. Here are the chapters from the book that we're doing. I suggest you take a peek at the chapter, maybe do a quick little read of their summary. And then if you open up this, you'll have my lecture on the topic as well. And then here are some problems that I want you to do from that section in the textbook. And I'll show you where the textbook is in just a minute. This is just practice. You don't need to submit it to me, but if you do all these and you feel good on them, you'll be ready for the assessments. We also weekly, I'm going to close this up. I'm just looking in week 2 right now. We have quizzes and forums. These happen every week. These will be in this section. And if I look at week 1, down here, quizzes and forums, we have forums, practice quizzes, and time quizzes. I'll talk about those when we do the syllabus as well. Just getting you a good layout of the week. Look ahead to week 3. You can see that we'll have 1 lecture in week 3. Looks like no quizzes and forums in week 3 as well. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Let's take a peek at resources. As I look at resources, I see a couple things. Unit Circle, we'll talk about that. Questions for the class. Here's access to the textbook. So we have an open source textbook. You don't need to buy a book. If you click on here, it will take you to the book. It's here. Chapters are over here. So for example, when we talk about section 5.1, there's section 5.1. If you click on it, the lecture will come, not the lecture, but the topic will come up, and those problems are down at the bottom. Here's their explanation that you can see my lecture of as well. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, this is where the problem set is for each of these. Syllabus and calendar. So we have a syllabus. I'll talk about the syllabus in a minute. This printable schedule, I really strongly suggest you print this schedule. As a matter of fact, pause the video right now and bring this up and print it. I'll wait. No, seriously, print this out. Print this out. So if you print this out, you will see where everything's due. You will never miss any deadlines, and everyone's going to be happy. Just the layout of this 5.1, 5.2, this is when I think you should be, if you're on pace, when I think you should be doing each of these sections. Of course, that's up to you. Things that are italicized are things that are due. So practice quiz 0.1, that intro quiz is due on this date right here. The intro forum's here, intro forum response is here. Practice quiz 1 is here, time quiz 1 is here. So here's a layout the whole summer, every test, everything. I couldn't make it exactly work, but I tried to make it so that practice quizzes are always on Wednesday. Time quizzes are always on Friday. Doesn't happen always, just because like college is closed in a couple spots. Forums as well. The forum itself, your post is due on Wednesday. Your response, you have to respond to someone else's post by Friday. I tried to make this as regular as possible. We have an exam here, and a final exam here. These dates, get those on your calendar. And anyways, print this. Let's take a peek at the syllabus. So as I look at the syllabus, a lot of information here. You can look at it at your leisure. I want to point out a couple of things. The calendar, like I said, print it out. It's not self-paced. Things are due. They have due dates. This grading scale, the weights of categories. So the final is 30% of the grade. The exams together are 35% of the grade. Time quizzes are 20%. Practice quizzes and forums together are 15% of the grade. So the homework's not graded, like I said. Exams and the final together 65% of the grade. They're all online. You'll take them online. It says 2 hours sitting, but I've extended that. I made each of them 2.5 hours. They'll open at 8 a.m. the day that they're due, and they'll close at 10 p.m. But you do have to do it in one sitting. So once you start the test, that 2.5 hours will start to go, and then it'll time out after 2.5 hours. It closes at 10 p.m. regardless of when you started it. So make sure if you start the test at 9:30 p.m., you'll only have a half hour to work on it. There are problems. Actually, exam 2 and the final, you need to send me all of your scratch work to get credit for them. So make sure that you're doing that as well. Take a note. It's hard to remember everything. And you've got to take the exam on the exam day. If really please don't email and go, well, I just forgot, because I will say no about taking the exam late. Of course, if there's something tragic, I will work with you on that. Practice quizzes and forums. So the practice quizzes, those are these PQs, that the practice quiz will cover whatever happened before the last practice quiz. So 5.3 to 6.1 would be on practice quiz 2. Practice quizzes are not, sorry about that. Practice quizzes are not timed. You get 4 attempts on each problem. So it's a really good, just like, how are you doing on stuff? You get it. And they have to be done by midnight on their due date. And then forums, I'll talk about in a sec. Timed quizzes, those are the ones that happen usually on Fridays. I think almost always on Fridays. Yeah, on Fridays. And again, time quizzes cover the same content as their associated practice quiz. Time quizzes, you get 2 hours on them. 10 to 15 questions. My 2 hours and my 2.5 hours, that should be plenty of time. My tests, the tests aren't huge. I'm trying to give you plenty of time to get them done. Time quizzes, you get 3 tries on each problem. And if you've done well on the practice quiz, you'll do great on the time quiz. They're same versions of the same questions. On either of these, there is an auto grader. I don't depend on the auto grader, but it will give you feedback. I go through and check everything later. But if you're like, I know this is right, the auto grader says it's wrong, just send me a message in WAMAP and we'll deal with it. I go over everything myself as well, so I do make sure that it's right. Try not to, just try and let me know if you think you've been shortchanged on it. Here is a good piece of advice. If it doesn't specify and you're rounding, if it doesn't say give me an exact answer, round to 3 decimal places. That's just a good rule of thumb. Forums, we post forums and respond to at least one of the person's posts. The forums will have real straightforward directions. If I look at the week 2 forum, pick an assigned problem from section 6.1, show your solution, respond to someone else's solution. Participate in all your forums. It is part of the grade. Okay, that's about it. I think that is good for that part. Okay, so that was the syllabus. On each practice quiz, or time quiz, you are allowed to use what's called a late pass. You can select to use a late pass on just practice quiz and time quizzes. I think I give you 5 of them, maybe 6. And they'll just extend it. Sometimes life gets in the way. Use a late pass to get something done that you get done. You cannot use them on forums, and you cannot use them on exams either. Once again, print out that calendar so you know where you are at. Watch the lectures, do the practice, and you will be in great shape for this course. Once again, I just want to emphasize, I'm here to help you get through this course, to make sure that you have the opportunity to learn the stuff that you need to learn, that you can just show that you know on the assessment. So please send me messages, and please ask questions in the forums. If you look over here, if you do want to send a message, if you look over here in messages, you can click on messages, and you send a new message. You would choose to send it to me, whatever it is that you want to say. And then here's one of the things I really like about WAMAP. You can type, but also we can type in math. There's a shortcut key for it, but if you go add new math, you're going to be typing in this. And let's say I wanted to say 6 plus x squared divided by x cubed, something like that. And I'm going to arrow out. And notice it formats it, and it looks mathy. That's one of the great advantages to using WAMAP. There is a section in resources about typing math symbols into WAMAP, and it's part of your directions. But take a look at this so you know how to do this. It's really a helpful way to communicate. It's a good way to put stuff in the forum as well. All right, send me those questions. Let me know how you're doing. Print out that calendar. Stay on top of it. Work ahead. Okay, I'm looking forward to working with y'all.